Brexit hasn't actually happened. The UK is still a member of the European Union with all the rights and obligations that go with that. But certainly there is a decision that Brexit will go ahead, and I think in some ways the most striking result that we've already had has been one of major political upheaval. On the morning after the vote, the Prime Minister, David Cameron, announced that he was resigning, and we have now got a new Prime Minister in place, Theresa May, who is committed to delivering this idea that Britain should leave the European Union and trying to negotiate that process in a way that provides the maximum benefit and does the minimum possible damage to the British economy. I think what it means for the US economy depends an awful lot on what it does to the British and wider European economies. They're important trade partners for the United States, so if there were to be weaker economic performance as a result, that would be bad news for the US. There's also the possibility that it might be disruptive for some international American companies, particularly banks, who base their operations in the European Union out of London as a rule. It might end up being the case, and we don't know this for sure, that they might have to set up a new base somewhere in Frankfurt or somewhere, because it could be the case that banks based in Britain lose their right to automatically provide services across the European Union. Well, certainly some people do worry that in terms of the UK economy, we might end up having significantly restricted trade access to the rest of the European Union on what's sometimes called World Trade Organization terms. So all the barriers that, say, a Chinese, a Japanese, or indeed an American exporter would face, British exporters will face. Some people will tell you that the result of that would be significantly weaker economic growth in Britain than we would otherwise have enjoyed. There are others, though, and there are certainly some figures taking this view in the new government, that it would provide us a new opportunity to become a much more globally focused trading nation. It really depends on just to what extent any Arizona companies are invested in the UK and export to the UK. I think perhaps more than anything they're worried about the political consequences, because there are political forces in many European countries, perhaps most, that would like to do what Britain has done. So there is a real anxiety, I think, amongst political leaders